Kickoff rule. Owners got together in Minnesota yesterday. The current kickoff formation, the dynamic kickoff formation, was on the agenda for discussion and update, and that's all that happened. I think there was a consideration that there might be some minor tweaks that happened yesterday. There was nothing. It was a presentation about what happened, injuries down, returns up, yada, 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 done. That's it. So what that means is we go into the regular season with the touchback points still the 30. And I think plenty of teams are going to choose to kick off out of the end zone and concede the 30. You remove the risk of a long return. You don't have to waste time practicing kickoff coverage, bang it out of the end zone, and give them the 30. 41% of the returns in the preseason went beyond the 30. All the more reason, just give the 30. The average starting field position is like the 28.3. Just give the 30 and avoid that kick return that can end up turning a victory into a defeat. And I guarantee you, when we get into crunch time of games, one-score games, and it's time to kick off, out of the end zone. Take the 30, not the 50. That would definitely encourage kickoffs. Take the 30. So what the owners could have done yesterday is move to the 35. And it'll be interesting to see if we get through the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season and no one or less than half of the teams are putting the ball in play. Will they change the rule during the season? I hope they don't, because it compromises the integrity of the season. You've got some games played under one set of rules, the rest of the games played under a different set of rules. Yes, it's just one rule change, but it's an important rule change. For 5, 6 weeks, whatever the case may be, the 30 incentivizes kicking out of the end zone. And then all of a sudden, oh, hey, this play you haven't been practicing because you thought you could just kick it out of the end zone and give the other team the ball on the 30. You better start practicing it now, because it's going to be the 35 instead of the 30. It's just not fair if that would happen. But the league had a conference call last week, and Donna Ponte, when asked about this possibility of change during the season, she said she'll never say never, and these are things that happen at a higher pay grade. And ultimately, the owners can do whatever they want to do. They typically don't like to change rules during the season, but if the kickoff rule change doesn't change the rate of returns, they easily could do that. Now, I'll say this. The hidden victory in kicking the ball out of the end zone, the drives are still starting at the 30. So if you're starting drives 5 yards closer to field goal range or touchdown, it's got to lead to more scoring. There's not going to be less scoring if you're cutting the distance from 75 yards down to 70. So at some level, the NFL might like that, even if the end result is the same percentage of kick returns that we saw last year. Because again, it's still not the safest play. They've tried to make it safer by packing everyone together and eliminating the long run where you've got two guys who collide full speed, dip the helmet, maybe fracture a C1, C2, C3, C4 vertebrae. But if they're kicking it out of the end zone, you don't have to worry about closed space collisions, long-term collisions. You don't have to worry about any of that. The play isn't going to happen. So we'll see what happens when the season starts, and we'll see if it's enough to get the owners to do anything about it. Surely they know it's possible. Surely they knew yesterday it was possible, and there was no discussion, no push, no effort to try to change the 30 to the 35. It was originally proposed back in March as the 35. It got moved to the 30, and this hit me yesterday, or maybe the day before. Can't remember. It probably got changed from the 35 to the 30 because they wouldn't have had 24 votes to make the change if it was the 35. So there's some discussions, backroom conversations, a little arm twisting. You move it from the 35 to the 30, you get your 24 votes. So that would seem to suggest for now it's impossible to get 24 votes for the 35. Maybe it'll change if there's no kick returns. And we were sold this idea that it's this dramatic revolutionary change. It really doesn't change all that much. It's going to be one of the big questions as the season approaches. It's a significant rule change, but what will it ultimately change, if anything?
Okay, you have a chance to win $1 million in the NBC sweepstakes on Yahoo Fantasy. Just download the redesigned Yahoo Fantasy app or go to NBCSports.com/fantasymillion for additional details. What are you waiting for?
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.